I just learned of the passing of past Grand Master Bob Tomlinson Jr., who was the Grand Master of Masons in Kansas in 2003. But on quick reflection, realized that's really just one point of service when you mention past Grand Master. Even though that encompasses years of dedicated service to the craft, he was also, throughout his almost 50-year service in Masonry, members of 4 separate lodges: Shawnee 54, Inner Quest Lodge, Arthur H. Strickland, and the Kansas Lodge of Research. He was a ritualist and held an A proficiency, so as all leaders of the Grand Lodge of Kansas should have that respect and understanding of the place of ritual in our fraternity, he had that, and he taught others behind him the ritual and the importance of that. He was secretary of Shawnee 54 for several years and was member of many Grand Lodge committees, public schools committee, and also served as the Grand Treasurer of Kansas. So what an amazing record of service to the family of Bob Tomlinson. We give our love and our heartfelt thoughts for you during your time of bereavement.
Welcome back to the channel. My name is Darren Kellerman. I'm working in association with the Grand Lodge of Kansas. This is Squarely on the Level. We're outside for this episode, and I had something totally different planned. I was going to talk about what to expect at the upcoming annual communication in March, why you should get registered if you haven't already, and I was going to address some issues members are having on the Grand Lodge webpage and getting access to the member area. And we can do those things in a later episode, that we've still got some time. But I wanted to talk about Grand Master Tomlinson. You just heard current Grand Master Bob Talbot tell us of the passing of the Grand Master. And I wanted to go over some things that Grand Master Tomlinson did and how they still affect what we're doing today in 2019 as I record this. There's a lot of new Masons out there that don't know who Grand Master Tomlinson was, what he said, or maybe some of the programs and ideas that he had that have carried forward in part, if not in whole, today. So I wanted to show you how to find out those things, because for a lot of us, 2003, 2004 was a long time ago. Some of us weren't even thinking about being Masons then. But there are some of us who were Masons then and still may not remember or didn't know at all. So how can you find out some of these things? Well, almost everything a Grand Master does is recorded by the Grand Secretary and printed in the official annual proceedings booklet. Maybe you haven't seen them, but every lodge is provided with a copy of the annual proceedings once they're printed. And they're published online as well in a digital format. And that's what I want to talk about today, and I'm going to read you some of those things. So if you're not wanting to watch me read, just put me down, put me on the Bluetooth in your vehicle if you're listening on your smartphone or device, and I think we'll be just fine. Here's a short little video I recorded earlier.
Finding out more information is really simple if you know where to go, and we know where to go. We need to go to kansasmason.org, the Grand Lodge website, because that's where we can find out most any information that we would need. Now there are some ways you can go through the member area and through those tabs get into all sorts of great information for members only. But today I want to show you something a little different. I'm going on the Community Center tab, and I'm going to go down to the Grand Lodge Library and Museum online collection. It's kind of hidden away here and is really a gem. Lots of great things in here. If you have extra time, just click on the random images. But today we want to look for Grand Master Tomlinson's information. So I'm going to click on Advanced Search or Keyword Search. I'm going to go with Keyword Search, because if you want to see items specifically from his year, I know that he was Grand Master over the annual proceeding in 2004. So I'm going to just type in annual proceeding 2004, and it tells me actually I need to put that in quotes. So let's put that in quotes. Hit search, and it'll pop up exactly what we need. And if you don't put the quotes on there, you get a lot of interesting results, but that's what we wanted. So click on that, and then we scroll down here. It says click here to view the PDF, and this is huge. This is a 200 and some page file, You can download this to your computer, print it off, read later, save it to your device, and whatnot. But here is the actual annual proceedings, the formal ones. Normally, as members, we only get the advanced proceedings, but then after that's done, the office staff, along with the general, with the Grand Secretary, goes through and types up the formal proceedings. And this is Grand Master Tomlinson's annual communication, as it were, in March of 2004. You can start seeing all the information about him. Here is the huge Masonic biography of Grand Master Tomlinson, just huge. Unbelievable, all the organizations he belonged to. I don't know when he had the time to go to all those things. But Grand Lodge officers, but tons of information in here. And I would encourage you to read through this, especially the Grand Master's address, both at his installation and then at the session here on the state of the craft. But he had a lot of interesting ideas. One specific one, program that he rolled out by memorandum or edict, as it were, very controversial at the time to the craft, but across the nation, it was somewhat of an accepted practice in 2003, 2004, the way they thought things needed to go. And since we've reverted back, but very forward thinking. And we'll find in here that many of the things that they were looking at 2004, there's parts of still around today. And I think we're talking about that in some of today's video.
It's simple and easy to do, and that's what I did for this episode. I went in, I looked at Grand Master Tomlinson's installation remarks, and then his remarks as Grand Master to the craft, and I'd like to present them today. And while I was reading through those, it said that his remarks were recorded, and we was going to show them to somebody else, but I haven't been able to find that recording. I haven't talked to Dylan up at Grand Lodge, our Grand Archivist, and to see if that truly does exist or not. I'm sure that it does. Just not sure if we have it in the archives anymore, or if we ever did, if it was just a personal copy by the Grand Master. But I wish I could give these with the recording of Grand Master Tomlinson's voice, because he had a much better speaking voice than I do. A very distinctive patter and lilt, and that I can't even begin, or wouldn't even try to imitate or copy. But if you listen on Bluetooth or just over your speakers, this is that good time to maybe turn it up and walk away from my face, if you will, because I'd like to read some remarks, and maybe just close your eyes and listen to these and imagine these remarks. These are mixed from Grand Master Tomlinson's 2003 installation remarks, as well as his remarks as Grand Master in 2004. March 19, 2004, the Grand Master's remarks to the Assembly. First, receive my expression of sincere appreciation to the brethren of this Grand Lodge in bestowing upon me the highest honor that is in your power to present, that being, electing me to be the Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Kansas. I will always be forever grateful and humbled for your act of confidence, and again I say thank you, one and all. I've always kept in mind that I was your servant and entrusted with the responsibility of acting in the best interest of the craft, considering the matters that came before me to be decided. Immediately after being installed in 2003, having ascended to this position, I am always mindful of my beginning in the Order of Demolay in the middle 1950s. My association with all three youth orders of these past many years are great moments in time for me. You all look good out there, and more especially, I'm glad that all these brethren and ladies were able to see you here, for I believe that we must keep you in the forefront. Thank you very much. From his installation remarks. My brethren and ladies, I stand before you this day with the greatest of all humility, more especially as your servant. The trust you have reposed in me is a weighty responsibility. With the guidance of the Grand Architect of the Universe and your continued support, I gladly accept this responsibility. We have a task before us that has been with each generation of brethren, and that is the preservation of our fraternity. To accomplish our goal, we must gain mastery over ourselves and be vigilant, lest our own unruly passions and frailties overcome us. Then we are destined to fail, because we put self first. We are fortunate that the state of our craft in Kansas is on a sound footing, is continuing to be strong and viable, and a very important entity in the state. We are charged to improve upon the condition of the fraternity has been placed in our hands. Edict, order, directive, or by whatever word meaning the same thing, they all apply in their strongest sense to the following. Be it known that from this moment on, no member of the Grand Lodge of Kansas shall act like a Master Mason. Rather, because we have all been taught by proper instruction, each will be a Master Mason. Their former always distresses me, as those who do seem to take the path of least resistance are usually concerned with self-grandeur. As I scan the room, I am saddened by the absence of some of those brethren who are responsible for my standing before you today. I really miss their presence. Granted, I know this is selfish in me because I know they're in a better place. I do take solace in those of you who have taken some of your busy time to be here and share this day. To continue with the continuity we've enjoyed these past several years, the Master Achievement Award will continue, the Masonic Millennium Renewal Program, also the Relighting the Torch Program, the Mile of Food Program, Friends of Masons Program, one-day classes, as well as the all-the-way and one-day classes. Masonic education is an ever-ongoing fact of life for any Master Mason that is interested in understanding our fraternity. There are scheduled this year 4 Masonic education meetings to be held at Hill City, Dodge City, Manhattan, and El Dorado. These Masonic education meetings are going to be conducted by our own Masonic Education Committee. We're all learned Masons willing to share the knowledge they have. This year I'll be in the Grand Lodge office on the second Wednesday of each month to field any questions anyone might have relative to our fraternity, things they might want to talk over with the Grand Master. I prove to you by this action that I'm accessible and have no problem talking with any one of you. It doesn't prove that I have all the answers, but I think if you're asked a question you don't know the answer, there'll be 2 people that will know the answer before long. We can find the answers. Even Grand Masters are required to give a report at the annual communication. It's called the State of the Craft, or State of Craft Address. In 2004, here is what Grand Master Tomlinson reported. The most difficult subject now remains, and it is one that there's no direct answer. I truly believe that we must maintain a positive attitude when broaching this subject. There are so many determining factors to come to a definable answer, and even then, a little variance will sway the outcome in such a way as to give a false reading. Low income, higher expenses, and declining membership are not, in my opinion, factors. Rather, they are the effects of what we, the Lodge Brethren, perceive to be the underlying cause of the current status we find ourselves in. Again, my thought is that if we all want to have a vibrant and flourishing organization, we must make it that way. We are the only interested persons who can accomplish this task because, I hate to tell you, nobody else cares. Are you willing to do whatever is necessary to improve the state of our craft? I hope so. History can be a bad taskmaster, or it can be a friend to those who would but learn from the past. Each of us was given the power to think and rationalize in seeking solutions, but the key is to engage the brain and not be limited to only what we know. Research is a marvelous tool, but only if we have the desire to use what is available to us. Friends and brothers, we know that the Masonic fraternity is the greatest fraternity, but we, as members, must constantly strive to prove it to them who are not yet members. In some candid remarks, for all I have hoped and dreamed to accomplish in my Masonic life, there comes with it a price to pay. The price is not paid by me alone, but by my family. I just hope that it has not been too high a price for them to bear. I have a lot to make up for. Will endeavor to make amends to the greatest extent possible. The love I have for them is immeasurable, and I'm positive they are aware of this, and I will now be able to reassure them of this love. Before I conclude this week's episode with Grand Master Tomlinson's closing remarks, I just want to say thank you to those that are watching this week for this special episode. And if you did like it, make sure you just reach out and click on that like button. And if you have any thoughts about Grand Master Tomlinson, or maybe you read something on the website, just leave that down in the comments below for others to see, so they can comment as well. Encourage others to go online and do some research about Grand Master Tomlinson and his year as Grand Master, or any Grand Master, or any year, or any Masonic topic. That's what Grand Master Tomlinson would have been most pleased over. And with that, I say thank you for watching. Keep things squarely on the level until next time. And here are the Grand Master's final remarks as he prepared to descend from the Grand East and return to the working quarries of Freemasonry. Nothing now remains but to follow some advice given me by Most Worshipful Forrest D. Haggard, past Grand Master in 1974. The time has come, you should lay the gavel down and enjoy what you have. So mote it be. Right now, they'd normally be showing you some outtakes of things that we couldn't use in the episode. This week, it'd probably be me falling down, then losing my balance, dropping my tablet and my phone. But I've asked them not to do that this week. Right now, I'd like for you to reflect on the scene behind me. It's been here the whole episode. I want you to think about those Freemasons who've made an impact in your life. Not just your Masonic life, but in your life. They're now traveling upon that level of time, to the undiscovered country, to the celestial lodge above, to the house not built with hands, whatever you call it. But more importantly, I want you to think about those men and women who haven't started that final journey yet. You've probably got a name in your head, maybe more than one. What you need to do right now, shut me off as soon as you hear what I've got to say, but you need to pick up your car keys, pick up your phone, maybe turn to them if they're in the room, pick up a keyboard. You need to tell those people what a difference they've made in your life. Because at some point, they will be on that path. And you won't have that opportunity. All you have left is regrets that you didn't tell them. Tell them today, before they or you get on that path.